Hey guys, welcome back to Birds of a Feather, the show in which we go over the action figure history of the Angry Birds. And this time around, since it's April Fool's Day, I figured we should look at the Angry Birds Transformers crossover, one of the most successful crossovers the franchise has ever had that actually had its own toy line. Before we begin, a big thank you to ABTF Fanboy and Fumbler Gobblecock for allowing us to talk about the Angry Birds Transformers today. If you can't cast your mind back to 2014, let me tell you, it was the year that we got Angry Birds Transformers. What an incredible game. Nice, brainless, the type of game that you could pick up and play anywhere. And I'll be honest, it actually is a really fun game. Here's what surprised me, is that it's actually still around somehow. It still gets new updates constantly. But the most important thing is that there was the tie-in toy line, taking in more than meets the eye to give us birds in disguise. Some of our most favorite characters getting their first action figures for the first time ever. And even though I would have preferred a normal Angry Birds line, am I really going to complain about getting sexy Red dressed up as waifu Optimus Prime? Listen, we've never actually done like a toy line before, and these all came out in 2014, early part of 2015, so instead of going through a year by year, we're just going to go over the different price ranges. We're going to start off with the Telepods. This was the usual single form release of the toys. They included the transforming figure and a Telepods adapter. The Telepod adapter would allow you to unlock things within the game. I mean, we gotta start off strong with Red, the leader of the Angry Birds, the mascot. It only made sense for him to be crossed over with Optimus Prime. And as you can see, the transformation actually would have been similar to, what was this character's name? G1 Warpath, with the whole standing uppy thing. How is this like G1 Warpath? Warpath's like a weird tank thing. It doesn't really matter. The intern took notes for me. The thing is, it works. It gives you a nice little robot mode, but you scrunch it down, and it looks like Red's driving the truck. My boy Chuck, of course, got to play Bumblebee, very similar to the Optimus Prime, but I do like that it's a Camaro now instead of just a truck. They actually went the extra level to make sure that they got the right vehicles with the right birds. You gotta love that attention to detail. Yo, my boy Terrence! Terrence is in the house, and he's Heatwave. Now, Heatwave, I've actually remember from when I did our big preschool roundup, I remember he's one of the rescue bots. That's kind of cool. Admittedly, I'm more of a G1 kind of guy. You know, I think that's when the toys and the characters were the best. Way before we had that weird Warpath guy, am I right? I like all the classics, the traditionals, you know, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee. There's others. I love so many of them, I just can't think of any more. Of course, what would an Angry Birds toy line be with just the birds? We also got a couple of the pigs, and I think that it was a really smart decision to make the pigs Decepticons. I mean, they clearly did their research. And I think that Mustache Pig got one of the best of the Decepticon forms with Lockdown. A really cool design, and I love that his mustache is now made out of metal. So sick. Corporal Pig as Galvatron makes a ton of sense. I did my research. I made sure to look up Galvatron compilations on YouTube, and clearly the insane military leader works very well as Corporal Pig. As we know, he is tougher than the average minion pig. But my favorite one, the best one, was Chef Pig as Soundwave. From what I understand, this vehicle mode is based off of Transformers Animated? Aren't they all animated? Whatever. I do really like this one, though. And I like how he almost has like a little crown on top. So that gets us through Wave 1. You have the Optimus Prime bird, the Bumblebee bird, Heatwave the Firebot bird, Lockdown, Galvatron, and Soundwave pigs. Later that year in Wave 2, we got the Deceptihogs Revenge. Just a way to increase the bad guy side while also giving us one more iconic good guy. You got Hal as Grey Slam Grimlock. Now, I've looked into this Grimlock guy, and I gotta say, I don't like him. I mean, Transformers are supposed to be like cars and planes and stuff, right? But this one turns into a T-Rex? I mean, someone got desperate, am I right? But King Smooth Cheeks as Megatron, chef's kiss. Well, not chef's kiss, because of course this isn't Chef Pig. But I do think that King Smooth Cheeks being the Megatron, you know, the iconic bad guy, becoming another iconic bad guy, very, very smart, inspired. That brings us to the final telepod racer, that being the Thundercracker Pig. This is just the normal Minion Pig. I love that they remembered the Minion Pig. You gotta have your army builders. And I think it's really smart that all the jets got to be the Minion Pig. You know, you use the pigs that all look the same, turn them into the Decepticons that all look the same. This is the type of thinking that lets you get to be a part of the Angry Birds team, guys. The telepods were the single-release figures. However, at the same time, you could get battle packs. These were 2 figures that included a single telepod's adapter. So you weren't exactly getting 2 for the price of 1, but you were getting 2 figures plus the single telepod for only a little bit more than the usual release. And all of these were exclusive characters. They brought my boy Terrence back, and I love Terrence. He's always a big guy, I'm a big guy. I just don't get why they called this one Sentinel Prime. I mean, it's Terrence as the fire truck again. Is Heatwave and Sentinel Prime like the same guy? I'm sorry, guys. I just don't get this weird Transformer stuff. It's kind of the same thing with King Smooth Cheeks, who's in the same pack. I mean, he was Megatron before, but now he's this guy called Bludgeon? Is that a name? The point is, these two were together. The next 2-pack with Red and Chef Pig also don't make a lot of sense to me. Now they're Ultra Magnus and Sound Blaster? I mean, Red was Optimus Prime before. I guess Ultra Magnus is maybe like his brother or something, and then Sound Blaster. The hell's a Sound Blaster? This must be like some deep cut thing. Now, one 2-pack I do get is the Jazz vs. Brawl 2-pack. Chef Pig is back, and now he's Brawl. I remember Brawl. He's the tank one. And then you got Jazz. And Jazz, I remember, he was from the 84 cartoon. That's the one I like. And he is played by Bubbles. Do you guys remember Bubbles? Do you remember Smosh? Did you know that Bubbles was played by Link from Smosh? Alongside those first 2 waves, there was also the Energon Racers pack. This was 5 bots alongside the telepod's adapter. You got Red as Optimus Prime, Hal as Grimlock, Minion as Starscream, you got the Chef Pig again as Soundwave, and you got Mustache Pig as Lockdown. And I do quite like this Grimlock. I know that he was a very different type of beast from the usual Grimlock, but it's nice, you know? It's definitely not because I really, really like Anthony. It's definitely not because of that. It's definitely not because of that. Fools can I kill today? Too many to count, don't get in my way. I shoot a mofo. Of course, guys, what would a toy line be without play sets? And I really think they knocked it out of the park with the giant Bumblebee playset. It gives you a very, very big bee. Alongside that, you also get Bumblebee Bird Blast, a very unique version of Chuck, and you get another Hal as Goldfire Grimlock. Optimus Prime Bird Raceway is also really good. It gives you Red as Optimus, King Smooth Cheeks as Megatron, and you also get a very, very big Optimus with a very small Starscream. That's Minion Pig again. Overall, I think that this is one of the better playsets. Definitely a lot better than the Bumblebee Bird Blast. You know, the one that had Hal in it. I want you to know how painful that voice is. I want you to know that I've been coughing between each of these takes. I hope this is worth it. There was also a separate tie-in with the Angry Birds Transformers. Aside from the usual action figures, there was also the Jenga game. So if you got Jenga, you would get vehicles to go with them, and they would have a removable bird or pig, a launcher, and blocks. This was actually similar to the Angry Birds toy line that was happening at the time. It essentially just gave you the specific Transformer-type characters. In this, you would have been able to get another version of Heatwave, the Firebot bird. There was also Soundwave Pig, Galvatron Pig, and Lockdown Pig. Very much in a similar vein to the Jenga, there were actual battle sets that you could use to build up certain statues or ideas so that you can use the Angry Birds to take out a more impressive structure. The Bumblebee battle game would have given you the Bumblebee bird vehicle, and you would have had a collapsible statue of the Megatron Pig. Finally, that gets us to the Optimus Prime attack game. This included a ramp and a launcher. You would have had the Optimus Prime bird vehicle, as well as a Galvatron vehicle, and you would be aiming in an attempt to get rid of the Starscream Pig, the Stinger Pig, and the Grimlock bird frame. The idea here was it was a little bit more competitive. Someone could be Autobots, someone could be Decepticons, and you're doing your best to get rid of the other person's army. And that's it. I'll tell you now, I think that this was an inspired toy line. Just absolutely beautiful. I am so enamored with all of these things. I mean, Angry Birds can do no wrong, am I right? It's very much in the same realm as some of my other favorite games like Garna Ban, or maybe even Bendy and the Ink Machine. I just think that these were great toys. These were when toys were allowed to be good before, Hasbro. Quite frankly, I just don't think the toys of today really measure up to the toys of 2014. And I don't think the toys of 2014 can ever hold a candle to the toys I grew up with in 1984. But I think that this was as close as we ever got. Just really great toys. And if you are, like me, a ride or die Angry Birds fan, I would definitely recommend trying to track these guys down. Even if, you kind of have to stomach the sick pill that is Transformers. I mean, yeah, could you imagine doing a channel about that? So, that's the April Fool's video. Not too sure how this one's going to go over. Oh well, many toys are proud next week, and we'll see what we get up to next time.